Below is a detailed analysis of 5 things a woman might say when she no longer trusts a man in a relationship, focusing on the psychological meaning, context in which the statement arises, impact on the relationship, and how a man can recognize and respond to each. The analysis is grounded in psychological theories of trust, attachment, and relational behavior, presented with a global perspective to avoid cultural specificity. Each statement is analyzed clearly and coherently as requested, building on the previous response but ensuring distinct phrasing and additional depth. Where appropriate, *1. I don't feel safe sharing with you anymore. Psychological meaning: loss of emotional safety. According to attachment theory, emotional safety is critical for intimacy in relationships. This statement indicates that the woman feels her vulnerability has been compromised due to actions such as judgment, betrayal, or dismissal of her feelings. She no longer perceives the relationship as a safe space to express her thoughts or emotions. Self-protective withdrawal. Research by John Gottman highlights that trust erosion leads to emotional withdrawal as a protective mechanism. By saying this, she's signaling a retreat to shield herself from further hurt, aligning with emotional avoidance theory. Erosion of intimacy. The absence of safety undermines emotional intimacy, a cornerstone of healthy relationships, potentially leading to disconnection. Context of appearance. Triggering behaviors. This statement may arise if the man has betrayed her confidence, for example, sharing private information, mocked her emotions, or failed to provide support during vulnerable moments. For example, if she shared a personal fear and he responded dismissively, she might feel unsafe opening up again. Global context. In societies valuing emotional openness, for example, the U.S., Scandinavia, this statement is common when expectations of empathy are unmet. In cultures where emotional restraint is normative, for example, parts of East Asia, it may emerge only after significant trust violations, such as infidelity. Impact on the relationship. Reduced communication. Her reluctance to share can lead to a communication breakdown, fostering silence or superficial interactions, which erodes relational closeness. Risk of further disconnect without intervention. This emotional withdrawal can escalate, potentially leading to resentment or relationship dissolution. As emotional intimacy is critical for long-term stability, recognizing and responding signs to notice. She may say this with sadness, frustration, or a detached tone. Nonverbal cues include avoiding eye contact, reduced personal disclosures, or physical withdrawal. Response strategies. Acknowledge her feelings. Respond with empathy. For example, I'm so sorry I made you feel unsafe. Can you help me understand what I did? Rebuild safety. Create opportunities for non-judgmental sharing, such as asking open-ended questions and listening actively. Correct behavior. If a specific action caused this, for example, breaching confidentiality, apologize sincerely and commit to change. For example, I was wrong to share that, and I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. 2. I don't know if I can believe what you say anymore. Psychological meaning. Doubt in credibility. This statement reflects direct skepticism about the man's honesty, often triggered by lies, broken promises, or inconsistent behavior. Trust betrayal research indicates that such violations lead to a state of hypervigilance, where she questions the authenticity of his words. Cognitive uncertainty reduction theory suggests she's grappling with ambiguity about his reliability, prompting her to scrutinize his actions to reduce doubt. This creates mental strain as she evaluates his trustworthiness. Core trust violation. Interdependence theory posits that trust is essential for mutual reliance. Her doubt signals a fracture in this foundation, threatening the relationship's stability. Context of appearance triggering behaviors. This may follow incidents like discovering a lie, for example, about finances or whereabouts, infidelity, or failure to follow through on commitments. For instance, if he promised to prioritize her but repeatedly prioritizes work, she may doubt his sincerity. Global context. In cultures emphasizing transparency, for example, Germany, Australia, this statement may surface quickly after a single breach. In societies where trust builds slowly, for example, Japan, it may appear after repeated inconsistencies or a major betrayal. Impact on the relationship. Communication breakdown. Her skepticism can stifle open dialogue, leading to confrontational or guarded interactions, which strain the relationship. Increased risk of dissolution. Persistent doubt, if unaddressed, can lead to complete loss of trust, a leading cause of breakups or divorce, as seen in studies from North America and Europe. Recognizing and responding. Signs to notice. She may express this with frustration, anger, or a questioning tone. She might ask probing questions, for example, "Where were you really?" or check his actions, for example, phone messages. Response strategies. Admit faults, if guilty of dishonesty. Acknowledge it, for example, "I was wrong to lie, and I see how it hurt you." Demonstrate transparency. Be open about actions and intentions. For example, sharing plans proactively to rebuild trust. Address root causes. Ask what specific actions led to her doubt. For example, "Can you tell me what made you feel this way so I can make it right?" 3. I feel better handling things on my own. Psychological meaning shift to self-reliance. This statement indicates a move toward independence, as she no longer views the man as a reliable partner. Interdependence theory suggests that when trust erodes, individuals revert to self-reliance to avoid further disappointment. Emotional detachment. Her choice to handle things alone reflects emotional withdrawal, signaling a loss of faith in his role as a supportive partner. This aligns with research on relational disengagement. Rejection of partnership. She may feel that relying on herself is less risky than depending on someone who has let her down, undermining the collaborative nature of the relationship. Context of appearance. Triggering behaviors. This may arise if he consistently fails to support her, for example, neglecting household duties, parenting, or financial contributions. For example, if she manages family responsibilities alone while he disengages, she may conclude self-reliance is preferable. Global context. In egalitarian societies, for example, Sweden, Canada, this statement may reflect frustration over unequal responsibility sharing. In traditional cultures, for example, India, Nigeria, it may emerge when he fails to fulfill expected provider roles. Asterisk impact on the relationship. Asterisk power imbalance. Her self-reliance can diminish his role, creating a dynamic where the relationship feels one-sided or disconnected. Asterisk long-term disengagement. If she continues to prefer independence, the relationship may become a parallel existence, lacking mutual investment, potentially leading to separation. Recognizing and responding signs. To notice, she may say this with determination, detachment, or resignation. She might independently manage tasks, for example, finances, childcare, without consulting him, or show little interest in joint decisions. Asterisk response. Strategies. Asterisk offer support. Actively engage in her responsibilities. For example, I want to help with this. Can we tackle it together? Asterisk rebuild partnership. Discuss shared goals and responsibilities. For example, creating a joint plan for household tasks. Asterisk respect her autonomy. Avoid forcing dependence. Instead, demonstrate reliability through consistent actions to regain her trust. Asterisk. For you say one thing and do another. Psychological meaning. Inconsistency undermines trust. This statement highlights a disconnect between his words and actions, eroding trust. Cognitive dissonance theory suggests that such inconsistencies create confusion and frustration as she struggles to reconcile his promises with his behavior. Asterisk expectation violation. Expectation violation. Theory indicates that unmet promises lead to disappointment, as she feels her trust in his commitments has been betrayed. Asterisk perceived disrespect. The mismatch between words and actions may make her feel undervalued, as it suggests he doesn't prioritize her or the relationship. Context of appearance triggering. Behaviors. This may follow repeated instances of broken promises, such as saying he'll spend time with her, but prioritizing other activities, or promising to change a behavior, for example, excessive drinking, but failing to do so. For example, if he vows to help with chores, but doesn't, she may call out his inconsistency. Asterisk global context. In cultures valuing reliability, for example, Germany, Japan, this statement may emerge after a few breaches. In more flexible cultures, for example, parts of Latin America, it may require a pattern of repeated inconsistencies. Asterisk impact on the relationship. Asterisk frequent conflicts. Her frustration with his inconsistency can lead to arguments or accusations. Increasing tension. Asterisk loss of respect. Ongoing discrepancies can erode her respect for him, a critical factor in relationship longevity. As respect underpins mutual trust, recognizing and responding signs to notice. She may say this with irritation, sarcasm, or disappointment, often citing specific examples of his inconsistencies. She might remind him of past promises or point out contradictions. Asterisk response strategies. Asterisk acknowledge inconsistency. Admit the discrepancy. For example, I see I didn't follow through, and I'm sorry for letting you down. Asterisk commit to specific actions. Make concrete plans to align actions with words. For example, I'll set a reminder to be home for dinner as promised. Asterisk prove consistency. Follow through on small commitments to rebuild trust over time, demonstrating reliability. Asterisk 5. I don't expect anything from you anymore. Psychological meaning loss of hope. This statement reflects a profound loss of faith in his ability to meet her needs, indicating she has given up on expecting change. Learned helplessness theory suggests that repeated disappointments lead her to abandon hope, accepting his unreliability as permanent. Asterisk maximum emotional distance. Her lack of expectations signals significant emotional detachment, as she no longer invests in the relationship's potential. This aligns with research on relationship dissolution, where loss of hope precedes breakups. Asterisk critical warning sign. This is one of the most severe statements, suggesting the relationship is at a breaking point, as she may be considering ending it or has already emotionally checked out. Asterisk context of appearance. Asterisk triggering behaviors. This may follow a series of broken promises, neglect, or major betrayals, for example, infidelity, chronic unreliability. For example, if she repeatedly asked for more involvement in family life and he ignored her, she may reach this point of resignation. Asterisk global context. In cultures prioritizing long-term commitment, for example, India, Japan, this statement may signal a final stage before separation. In individualistic societies, for example, US, Australia, it may indicate she's prioritizing her own well-being and considering leaving. Asterisk impact on the relationship. Asterisk high risk of dissolution. Her lack of expectations suggests she's disengaged, increasing the likelihood of breakup or divorce, as she no longer sees a future together. Asterisk challenging recovery. Restoring trust at this stage is difficult, as she may resist efforts to repair the relationship due to her emotional withdrawal. Asterisk recognizing and responding. Asterisk signs to notice. She may say this with resignation, indifference, or exhaustion. Accompanying behaviors include avoiding future-oriented discussions, focusing on her own life, or showing disinterest in the relationship. Response strategies. Acknowledge severity. Recognize her feelings. For example, I understand you're at this point because I've let you down, and I want to make things right. Asterisk initiate deep dialogue. Suggest an open conversation. For example, can we talk about what led to this so I can understand and change? Asterisk take significant action. Consider major steps like couples counseling or addressing her long-standing concerns to demonstrate commitment. Conclusion. The 5 statements I don't feel safe sharing with you anymore. I don't know if I can believe what you say anymore. I feel better handling things on my own. You say one thing and do another, and I don't expect anything from you anymore. Reflect escalating stages of trust loss, from emotional insecurity to complete disengagement. Each is a call for urgent action to address the underlying issues. Restoring trust requires acknowledging her feelings, demonstrating consistent behavior, and fostering open communication.